I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't use a pistol caliber carbine for home defense.
A pistol carbine is not going to be the gun that I go to.
I use a 300 blackout rifle and a 9mm handgun. But every time I take someone new to the range, especially someone who's smaller frame, nervous, or straight up terrified of recoil, there's this moment that always makes me stop and think. They'll struggle with the handgun. They'll flinch at the rifle. And then I hand them a PCC. And suddenly they're shooting like they've been training for months. Crystal came in scared and hesitant, but she faced her fear and gave it a shot, literally.
Okay, I am ready.
Ready? All right. So now you can put your finger on target.
Ooh. That was awesome.
The gun goes from, oh, I hope this isn't too loud, to wait, that was it? And what's wild is they'll shoot better with the PCC than they do the gun they actually bought for home defense.
Oh, yay! That was sexy!
And every time I see that happen, I can't help but ask myself, if that was 3 in the morning and you were half asleep and something went bump in the night, would you rather have a gun you think you're supposed to use or the one you actually shoot well enough to survive with? Because the more people I take shooting, the more I'm realizing something I don't even apply to my own setup. A PCC might be the most underrated home defense gun, not because it's perfect, but because it's perfect for the people who actually need it. I've always felt like, even though I don't personally run a PCC for home defense, there's a strong case for it. Again, my setup is the 300 blackout rifle with a 9mm handgun, but the biggest attribute of a PCC is simple. You're shooting a 9mm in a rifle configuration that gives you extremely low recoil, excellent control, and far less concussion than a rifle. It's one of those things where once you actually shoot a PCC indoors, suppressed or unsuppressed, you immediately realize how forgiving it is in tight spaces. Even an unsuppressed PCC is far more manageable in a hallway than lighting off a short 5.56 rifle. And if you suppress it, it's not even close. It's like stepping into a completely different category of shootability and comfort. It's low recoiling, it's easy to maneuver indoors, way less over penetration risk than 5.56. And then on top of that, whether it's suppressed with my Huxworth can or with a linear comp, if I'm going bareback, it's not my eardrums bleeding loud like a 223 5.56 XBR. You know who I'm talking about. But the people who benefit the most from PCCs are almost always the ones who struggle with rifles and pistols. I've taken new shooters to the range and the pattern is always the same. The handgun feels too violent and unpredictable in their hands. The rifle feels too big, too loud, too theatrical. They're overwhelmed by both ends of the spectrum. But then they pick up a PCC and it's like everything clicks. It's not too small and snappy. It's not too big and overwhelming. It just feels right. And because it feels right, they shoot it well. And because they shoot it well, they want to practice.
There you go.
Yay!
All right, London John Wick.
Confidence with the firearm is everything in a home defense situation. If you don't enjoy shooting the gun, you're not gonna train with it. And if you don't train with it, you're not gonna be effective with it when it matters. And speaking of home setups, let me talk about the one thing in my house I interact with more than any gun I own. My mattress.
Oh.
This video is sponsored by Brooklyn Bedding, and I'm actually glad they partnered with me on this one because as much as I am a gun guy, I'm also someone who spent years trying to get consistent sleep. I fall asleep fast, but staying asleep has always been the part that feels like a boss battle I didn't sign up for. So I took their sleep quiz, answered a few questions about how I sleep, how often I travel, all of that crap. And it matched me with a signature hybrid in a king size, medium firmness. The delivery was simple. It showed up in a compact box. It didn't have any weird chemical smells and had it completely set up and expanded in a jiffy, whatever that fucking means. I've had it long enough now to know whether a mattress is going to fall apart after the honeymoon phase. And this one hasn't budged. No sagging, no hot spots, no sudden, why does my back hurt again? I sleep cooler, I fall back asleep faster when I roll over, and it's noticeably more supportive than my old mattress. The comfort improvement alone made the switch worth it. Brooklyn Bedding designs, assembles, and ships all of their mattresses directly from the factory in Arizona, which means you're getting premium materials without the retail markup where a mattress suddenly costs the same as a used car. And you get a 120-night sleep trial, a limited lifetime warranty, and free shipping anywhere in the US. Honestly, ordering online was way better than walking into a mattress store and pretending laying on a display bed while strangers walk by is a normal human behavior. So, if you're even thinking about upgrading your sleep, try it. I love my Brooklyn Bedding mattress, and I think you would too. If you're looking for a new bed, check out brooklynbedding.com or scan the QR code on the screen to get 30% off your mattress with code Colion Noir. And let them know I sent you on their post-purchase survey. Now, let's get back to the pistol caliber carbine. New gun owners go through the same thing. Most people buy a 9mm handgun first, start carrying, and then eventually realize they want something more capable for the house. But jumping straight from a basic handgun to a full power AR with the sound, the blast, the recoil, and new caliber can be a bit overwhelming for some. A PCC is the perfect stepping stone. It lets them stick with the same ammo and the same recoil profile. The move into a platform that's more stable and much easier to control. And real home defense isn't some tactical fantasy. It's dark. Your heart's pounding. You're trying to grab your phone. You might have a kid or something you care about under one arm, and most of your brain power is being spent just trying to figure out what the hell is going on in the first place. And in that moment, the last thing you want is a gun that demands more from you than you can give. A PCC gives you breathing room. You can shoulder it, stabilize it, aim it cleanly, and if you have to run it with one hand for a second or two, it isn't going to fight you the way a full-size rifle would. Accuracy and control matter more than anything when you're inside a house, with walls that are basically drywall and prayers. I've had guns I loved visually but couldn't shoot worth a damn, and my desire for those guns disappeared fast. A PCC almost guarantees you're gonna shoot well because the gun is doing half the work for you. It's heavier than a pistol, so the recoil gets absorbed by the mass of the gun, not your hands. It just shoots flat, and you can put rounds exactly where they need to go without needing to be John Wick. The sound factor is another thing gun people pretend doesn't matter until they pop off a short-barreled AR-15 inside a bedroom and immediately regret every decision that led them to that moment. So when a PCC burns most of its powder inside the barrel, so the blast isn't nearly as punishing. Even unsuppressed, it's far more tolerable. Suppressed, it's dramatically better. Then there's overpenetration, or penetration, or lack thereof.
Hey yo, what the?
Well, here's the thing. Overpenetration is unpredictable, but 9mm in general travels slower and carries less energy through walls than rifle rounds. Don't get it twisted, it will absolutely go through drywall, but the damage on the other side is far less dramatic compared to, say, a rifle round. If you're in an apartment, a duplex, or a house with kids everywhere, that matters. And when it comes to firepower, yes, modern handguns can carry insane round counts, but that doesn't magically make them easy to shoot. 30 rounds in a pistol is not the same as 30 rounds in a PCC. One is work, the other is control. And because most PCCs have longer barrels, your 9mm round gets a little more speed and a little more punch than it would out of a handgun. Accessories are another area where PCCs shine. Sure, you can put lights and red dots on your pistol, but running them effectively? Completely different story. A PCC just makes it easier. The shoulder contact stabilizes the gun. Your support hand sits right where a pressure pad naturally lives, and picking up a red dot on a PCC takes most people less than a minute. I've seen people take an hour trying to figure out how to find the red dot on a handgun. So no, you don't have to use a PCC for home defense. Like I said, I don't. But for new shooters, smaller shooters, recoil-sensitive shooters, people worried about noise, people living around thin walls or close neighbors, or even people who just shoot a PCC better than anything else they own, it might be the most underrated home defense platform available. Because at the end of the day, the best home defense gun isn't the one the internet tells you is best. It's the one you can run confidently, accurately, and under stress when it matters most. Hey, don't scroll yet. You need to hear this because what you just watched is exactly why I created the FAFO line. FAFO isn't about acting tough. It's not about intimidation. It's about good people refusing to be victims. Criminals prey from a position of strength, so we defend from a position of strength. FAFO says if you try to prey on innocent people, you're gonna find out the hard way they can protect themselves too. And right now, the entire FAFO line collection is 20% off at shop.mrcolionnoir.com. Every hat, every hoodie, shirt, piece of drinkware, plus my favorite wireless in-ear Bluetooth hearing protection, the AKT1 Blackouts, is 20% off for Black Friday. Pretty much everything on the site is 20% off. So hit the link in the description of this video or click the product image popping up below or on the side, and it'll take you straight to shop.mrcolionnoir.com. Support the movement, take pride in who we are. One thing's for certain and two things are for sure. Politicians and tech giants don't want gun content to be recommended to you. And we're all fighting this culture war together. Now you can help do your part by liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel, but most importantly, sharing this video with at least one person. Together we can stop the suppression of our 2A rights. And don't forget to click the link in the description section of this video for the products that I mentioned in this video.